You know, when you worked, Elise, for other presidents and the State Department, we would actually send people that worked for the United States of America on Sunday shows to send messages to friends and enemies alike across the globe.
Oh. Now
the White House sends people out just to kiss up to the President of the United States. And
it's their opportunity.
It was so remarkable is everybody knows that is the only purpose. It is, as Jake Tapper said, is to be obsequious and to bow and scrape and humiliate yourself in hopes of the president being excited.
Well, the difference was President Bush had men and women working for him who were representing the interest of the United States and the American people. And it was about the American people. It wasn't about just performing for an audience of one, embarrassingly, which is what we got yesterday with the Stephen Miller show. And it's a show we've seen before and we'll see again.
It was, yeah, he's playing to a guy with autocratic tendencies. So there you go.
And it all plays into the bigger picture. I had some friends that went to Paris over the holiday, and they said they were viscerally...
Paris, Texas, right?
Paris, France.
Oh, Paris, France.
And they said they were just viscerally embarrassed to be Americans. They said it was the first time that it was sort of chilling, that they didn't even want to share where they were from.
You know, well, I mean...
Also with us this morning...
Hold on a second. I got to say something here. You're not going to like this. Just people being embarrassed. You know, Andrew Sullivan has really... I've got to say, when Barack Obama became president of the United States, I believed that his column just turned into a cheering section for Barack Obama, no matter what. And he has, somebody told me about a month ago, you've got to start reading Andrew Sullivan again. Every column, spot on and important. Listen to this. This is a good way to start the week, everybody. Andrew Sullivan talking about optimism in the age of Trump. Part of this, I guess, is because so many other indicators in the world are remarkably good right now. He's saying, in spite of Donald Trump. Economic growth is now ubiquitous in the developed world, including even Japan. For the first time in quite a while in America, we are in a record 8th year, let's say that again, 8th year of economic growth, not first year. We're in 8th year of economic growth, bringing peak employment and finally a bump in earnings. Median household income is now the highest in history. Let me say that again. Median income for households, highest in history. The Dow is at 25,000. Medicine has effectively abolished most diseases which used to kill us all in mass numbers. So legal border crossings in the U.S. have fallen to record lows. And if you'll remember, we were saying every day on this show
that they were leaving.
Well, before Donald Trump was president of the United States, that the wall was a stupid idea because actually border crossings were at record lows even at the end of the Obama administration. Crime rates are at historic lows, and they were when Barack Obama was president. This past year, we just saw, was New York's lowest since they started taking records. And they keep declining in ways that simply baffle criminologists. Solar energy is finally competitive with fossil fuels. Global conflict continues its centuries-old decline. ISIS has been destroyed in its own heartland. Again, I must say, something that we were saying was happening even before Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. Anyone with a phone has access to more learning and knowledge than at any point in human history. More people live in democracies today than a dozen years ago, something that we said last week, despite all of our concerns. And they kill fewer people, wars kill fewer people in far more populous world. And the last decade has seen the biggest decline in global poverty ever. And the point is that Andrew Sullivan believes, and I believe, that we may survive this Trump presidency in spite of Donald Trump. And so many of the people around who just aren't qualified to be in the White House. But there are areas that we have to remain vigilant on. The rule of law.
I think it's
how he treats the Justice Department.
Great you point that out, and there are reasons to be optimistic. You can also be embarrassed at the same time.
The fact that the President of the United States is not stable.
He's not.
You can say whatever you want to say about him. He's not in the White House. He's not stable. That said, a lot of good things are going for us, not only here but across the globe. If Donald Trump and Republicans in Washington would just do their job and do it in a way that respects constitutional norms.